Hello, and welcome to the video. Today we will show you our Scourge Arrow Pathfinder build. Scourge Arrow is currently one of the best bow skills for any build that uses ailments to deal damage, especially with poisons. At the same time, the Pathfinder Ascendancy grants very high poison and chaos damage bonuses for attack skills. Pathfinders are also known for very good Flask sustain, which makes them more efficient in boss fights. With the extra poison proliferation from Pathfinder's Ascendancy, you will see enemies melt all over your screen after each hit, and with high attack speed, this build will feel swift and mobile, even though you need to be stationary while charging your Scourge Arrow skill. Divine Flesh is a very interesting keystone that can only be obtained with the glorious Vanity Timeless Jewel. It renders your energy shield useless but converts half of the elemental damage you take to chaos damage. By using it, we can invest into maximum chaos resistances to gain massive defense value. When playing this build, you will need to master spawning pods with your Scourge Arrow to get maximum damage. It is not hard, it just takes some time to get used to it. Hopefully all the technical issues with this skill will be fixed in future patches, making it truly top-tier ability. Scourge Arrow is a channeled skill that fires a single projectile when released. While the projectile passes over the ground, it creates pods that burst into tons of secondary projectiles. All those projectiles have increased damage based on the number of stacks accumulated while channeling. This build offers quite solid defenses which are based on life, spell suppression, and evasion, but can be further enhanced by Divine Flesh passive. With high chaos resistance from cluster jewels, you can effectively reduce incoming elemental damage by approximately 30%, and a bit less when it comes to physical damage. With high movement speed and ability to proliferate our poisons, this build has amazing clear speed. When you use everything you have at your disposal, single target damage with this skill can be really good. Build requires some mild budget to really get going, but it's nothing crazy. Pushing damage to the maximum can get pretty expensive. This build has some mandatory unique items to really work. Majority of the cost comes from the fact that they need to be 6-linked. Glorious Vanity can offer some very useful passives, but comes with high opportunity cost, so we recommend picking up cheapest one with just the Divine Flesh keystone. Devoto's Devotion is a budget-friendly option that grants high bonus movement speed and chaos resistances, which are very useful when using Divine Flesh. Overall, it's a good pick for low and mid-tier content. The Covenant is a best-in-slot item for this build. Level 29 added Chaos Damage Support gem means almost 500 flat chaos damage, making it insanely good addition for our poisons. Darkscorn is another best-in-slot item for this build. It offers insane damage with poisons and good base attack speed. It also causes quarter of physical damage taken as chaos damage for extra synergy with Divine Flesh. Circle of Nostalgia Unique Ring can grant very high bonus damage and possibly a lot of chaos resistance which boosts your defenses. Get one with chaos damage and Herald of Agony buff effect, and try to look for some useful implicits. Glorious Vanity allows you to convert Supreme Ego to Divine Flesh, which effectively reduces elemental damage taken by your character by up to 30%, depending on your chaos resistance. On your rare items, you will need a lot of chaos resistance for your Divine Flesh. Other than that, it's pretty usual. Get as much maximum life and resistances as you can. You will also need a bit of strength and intelligence. Eldritch Influences have some great modifiers for this build. Rare helmets are possibly the best option here. It can have powerful mods that increase your DPS significantly. Eldritch Implicits are very important here for your mana management. Before you acquire the Covenant, you can use rare body armor with high life and all resistances. It will be enough for mid-tier maps, but you will have to change it eventually. On your rare quiver, aim for a high chaos damage over time multiplier and maximum life, and as many other damaging mods as you can afford to get. You can also look for resistances here. Your rare boots should come with high defensive stats, life, and movement speed bonus. Eldritch modifiers here are nice to have, but not necessary. On your rare belt, try to get high defensive stats and possibly strength for attribute requirements. It is best to use the Stygian Vice as your base, so you can use an additional Abyss Jewel. On your rare amulet, maximum life and damage over time multipliers are the most important stats. Other than that, look for missing attributes and resistances. Rare rings should have just basic stats here like maximum life, resistances, and attributes. You can also get Despair on hit to automate your curse setup. With rare gloves, try to aim for high life, attack speed, and resistances. You can get very powerful bonuses from Eldritch implicits. Rare jewels should provide you with extra maximum life and some damage modifiers. You can also get missing resistances here. You should get 2 large cluster jewels which can offer bonuses to chaos or bow damage. Unwaveringly Evil offers extra protection from stuns, and Fuel the Fight is very useful when it comes to mana management. You can get up to 4 medium cluster jewels. One should be flask focused while the remaining one should be used to boost your damage. With small cluster jewels you can get very high maximum chaos resistances by using Born in Chaos Notable. It's very effective since it will affect every type of damage you take. Flasks are a vital part of every Pathfinder build. Particularly Sin's Rebirth is a very strong flask for this build. It will grant you an Unholy Might for extra damage, but also will increase your evasion rating and stop ignites on you. Dying Sun is a very good flask for map clear if you don't have any source of additional projectiles elsewhere, but is rather weak in single target scenarios. It also reduces fire damage you take. As for the remaining magic flasks, we recommend getting Divine Life Flask with immunity to bleeding, until you get anti-bleed from Medium Cluster Jewel. Jade Flask with increased attack speed, Quicksilver Flask with increased evasion rating, and optionally Sulfur Flask with reduced mana costs to be swapped with Dying Sun for bosses. Scourge Arrow is our main damage skill. It's a channeling skill that gets a massive damage boost for each stage you gain before releasing it. Gaining stages scales with your attack speed. Poison proliferation can spread only the single strongest poison from the killed enemy, so it's a good idea to fully charge it before shooting at a big pack of monsters. Using this skill in closed corridors can be a bit clunky. Siege Ballista is our secondary damage, but also comes with solid utility. Thanks to the Withering Touch support gem, it will very quickly apply the maximum effect of Wither debuff on the enemy, while also dealing a solid amount of poison damage. Ballistas are very squishy, so you might need to recast them quite often. The most important aura of this build is Grace. Paired with relevant flasks, it allows you to reach very high evasion rating values. Herald of Agony is also very important for your damage. Using Divergent Quality allows you to reach a 100% chance to poison on hit very easily at a low cost. The third aura depends on your choice, as you can't fit them all. You can either take the aspect of the spider for more damage and slow on enemies. You can also simply use Flesh and Stone. By using it in a sand stance, you will blind nearby enemies, reducing their accuracy significantly, and you will take less damage from non-blinded enemies. All of those auras should be linked to Enlightened support gem. You will need mentioned Eldritch implicit on your helmet for additional mana reservation efficiency. You can use a very low-level Clarity aura to get some mana regeneration in case Mana Leech is not enough. For your guard skill, we recommend using Immortal Call linked with the cast when damage taken. You should keep both gems at a low level to let them trigger more often. Plague Bearer is a very useful clearing skill. It stores part of your poison damage and can be unleashed in a circle-shaped area around your character. Divergent Quality grants you a decent bonus to chaos damage over time multiplier while infecting. To boost it even further, you can link it to enhanced support. To supplement your very high movement speed, you will also have 2 travel skills at your disposal. The first one is Dash, to simply dash around making you a bit faster. The second one is the blink arrow, which will allow you to travel across bigger gaps than a dash. After firing an arrow, you can start charging the Scourge arrow to instantly unleash it after teleporting to the new location. Blood Rage is used to generate frenzy charges during clearing a map. It will also give you some attack speed. Our curse of choice is Despair. It provides a lot of damage for this kind of build. You can automate it by using a ring with the curse on hit modifier, or cast it manually to get better damage boost. The only good reward offered in the Bandits quest is from Aramir. Kill all the bandits to get 2 bonus passive skill points. As for major Pantheon gods, the Soul of the Brine kind offers excellent passives. Getting stunned is a common problem for builds that lacks armor, and immunity to freeze allows you to pick up a more useful modifier on your magic flask. Soul of Garukin as our minor Pantheon power is also very good. Shocks can be extremely dangerous and often lead to sudden one-shots. Immunity to maim is also useful, as being slow is never a good thing. For smoother leveling process, we recommend to adjust passive tree a bit. Poisons are quite weak at first, so we recommend leveling with Caustic Arrow and Toxic Rain. For that reason, it's better to skip poison nodes and go for generic chaos over time or bow passives. You will get plenty of respect points from your campaign to redo your choices later on. Spell suppression nodes are very strong during leveling. With them, and capped elemental resistances, you will have no problems with any spellcasters during the acts. Flask passives will help you tremendously with your uptime on them. Cluster jewels are packed with very good passives, but you can't pick them early on. Most clusters will be available to you in Act 8 of the campaign, so you can start saving points for them a bit earlier. This build relies on Divine Flesh as form of the damage mitigation, but you need good gear and many passive points to actually get high maximum chaos resistances. Using it early on will only slow you down. By the time you swap to Scourge Arrow, you should have all the poison passives to be sure you have 100% chance to poison on hit. We have very little amount of strength and intelligence on the passive tree, so make sure you get them on your gear. That's all you should know about this build before trying it out for yourself. What are your thoughts on Scourge Arrow? If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content. Have a great day and see you in the next video.